5. Stoic habits that make you irresistibly attractive. Let's be honest. You've been told you need to be more confident, that you need to use the right lines or play the game. You've watched the videos, read the articles, and maybe you've even tried to twist your personality into a shape someone else promised would make you attractive. But it feels hollow, doesn't it? It feels like a performance, a constant, exhausting act where you're both the actor and your own worst critic, always judging if you're getting the lines right. What if the most magnetic version of yourself isn't loud, but quiet? What if the most attractive quality you can build is one that nobody can see, but everyone can feel? And what if the game is just a distraction from the real work? This isn't just another video on attraction. Think of it as a wake-up call. We are drowning in superficial advice that treats connection like some simple math problem. Say this, do that, and get the girl. This approach isn't just shallow, it's disrespectful to the depth of what it means to be human. It turns people into projects and interactions into transactions. And it almost always leaves you feeling more empty than when you started, because you're chasing a reaction instead of building a reality. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the quick fixes and the promises of charisma in a bottle. So, I'm turning away from all that noise and looking back to the timeless wisdom of the ancient Stoics thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. These were men who weren't concerned with being liked, but with being formidable. They weren't focused on chasing affection, but on building an inner fortress so strong, so centered, and so virtuous that it naturally earned respect and admiration. So, here's the experiment. We're going to explore 5 silent Stoic habits. These aren't pick-up lines or body language tricks. They are deep, internal shifts in how you show up in the world. They're practices in discipline, composure, and presence that you build in silence for yourself. The idea is simple. True, irresistible attraction isn't built by what you say, but by who you become when you're not saying anything at all. This is about forging character, not faking it. This is about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to seek approval because he is his own fortress. Habit 1. The mastery of silent presence. The first habit is probably the most fundamental, yet it's the most ignored in our age of constant distraction. It's the mastery of silent presence. Think about the last conversation you had. Were you really there? Or were you busy planning your response, mentally checking your phone, or letting your mind drift to a dozen other things? The modern world has trained us to be distracted. We're conditioned to be everywhere but here, now. And that scattered attention is a silent repellent. When you aren't fully present with someone, you're sending a clear, non-verbal message. You are not that important. Something else is more worthy of my energy. It creates this subtle but real sense of disconnection, making the other person feel unseen and unheard. The Stoics knew that our attention is one of the very few things we have complete control over. The philosopher Epictetus taught that our main job in life is to separate what we can control from what we can't. Your thoughts might wander, life might get chaotic, but where you choose to put your focus, that is always up to you. To be truly present is to exercise that control. It's a declaration of your intention. Mastering silent presence means giving all of your attention to the person right in front of you. When someone is speaking, you're not just hearing their words, you're truly listening. You're noticing their tone, their body language, their energy. You are not just waiting for your turn to talk, you are simply receiving. This creates an incredible amount of space for the other person to be themselves. In a world where everyone is shouting to be heard, the man who can actually listen becomes a rare and magnetic sanctuary. Here's how you practice it, silently. Put your phone away, and I mean out of sight, not just face down on the table. When you're with someone, make a conscious choice to be with them. When your mind drifts, and it will just gently guide it back, practice intentional eye contact. Not a creepy stare, but a calm, steady gaze that says, "I see you, I am with you." Let your posture be open and relaxed, angled toward them. Feel your body. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Slow your breathing. These aren't tricks, they're anchors to the present moment. Imagine a guy at a coffee shop on a date. The average man is fidgety. His eyes are darting around the room. He interrupts her story with a vaguely related story of his own because he's so eager to prove he's interesting. He's physically there, but mentally he's checked out. He's performing. Now, picture the Stoic man. He's still. His focus is entirely on her. He listens with a quiet intensity. He doesn't interrupt. When she finishes speaking, he lets a moment of silence pass, giving her words weight. He isn't scrambling to think of what to say next to impress her. He is simply there. That stillness, that undivided attention, is unbelievably powerful. It communicates more confidence, respect, and intrigue than any clever story ever could. He's not trying to get her attention, he's giving her his, and in doing so, he becomes the most compelling person in the room. He creates an aura of calm, deliberate power that is intensely attractive because it's so rare. He has mastered his own mind, and because of that, he can offer the profound gift of his full presence. Habit 2. The Armor of Composure. The second habit is about building an invisible shield, the Armor of Composure. Our world is a storm of provocations, big and small. Bad traffic, a rude comment, an unexpected setback, someone else's emotional outburst. These are daily tests of our inner calm. The default human response is exactly that, to react. We meet anger with more anger. We let frustration drive our actions. We get emotionally tossed around by things we can't control, like a ship without a rudder in a raging sea. This lack of emotional control is deeply unattractive. A man who is easily provoked is signaling that he's not in command of himself. If the small things can throw him off, how could he possibly handle life's real challenges? His emotional reactivity creates a feeling of instability and chaos, which makes other people feel unsafe and on edge around him. People aren't drawn to chaos, they're drawn to stability. They're drawn to the rock in the storm. This is where the Stoic idea of the inner citadel is so powerful. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote constantly in his private journals about building this fortress inside his own mind. He reminded himself that external events have no power over him unless he gives them that power. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't about suppressing your emotions or becoming a robot. It's about noticing your emotions without becoming a slave to them. It's the ability to feel anger or frustration and then choose a rational, calm response instead of a knee-jerk reaction. Practicing this is a silent internal discipline. It starts with self-awareness. When you feel that flash of anger or that surge of anxiety, the first step is to just notice it, don't judge it. Don't act on it, just observe it like a passing cloud. Create a small gap between the trigger and your response. In that gap, that's where you find your freedom and your power. Imagine you're driving and someone cuts you off. The reactive man lays on the horn, yells, and lets a surge of cortisol ruin his next 20 minutes. He just handed a complete stranger total control over his emotional state. The man practicing Stoic composure feels that same initial flash of anger, but he takes a deep breath. He recognizes the emotion for what it is, a fleeting impulse. He asks himself, is this truly worth my peace of mind? Does getting angry serve any useful purpose? The answer is almost always no. He lets the feeling pass without acting on it. He stays calm, his inner peace undisturbed. This emotional resilience radiates outward. In a group, when tensions are high or something goes wrong, the man with composure is the one who stays steady. He doesn't get swept up in the panic or the drama. His calm presence becomes a non-verbal anchor for everyone else. People will instinctively look to him, they'll trust him. This quiet, unshakable steadiness is profoundly attractive. It signals immense inner strength, self-control, and reliability. It tells the world that you are not a victim of your circumstances, but the master of your own soul. You're not a leaf in the wind, you are the mountain that the wind breaks against. Habit 3. The gravity of discipline. The third habit is one that works silently in the background of your life, but it creates a powerful magnetic pull. It's the gravity of discipline. When we hear discipline, we often think of brutal workouts or strict diets. But for the Stoics, discipline isn't about punishment, it's about freedom. It's the daily, consistent act of making and keeping promises to yourself. It's the very foundation of self-respect. Because if you can't rely on yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? A lack of discipline shows up as inconsistency. It's the guy who says he'll start a project but never gets around to it. The one who commits to getting fit but quits after a week. The man whose words and actions never seem to match. This inconsistency quietly screams unreliability and a lack of integrity. It shows the world that your whims are stronger than your will. It erodes trust, not just from others, but from yourself. And that inner lack of trust is poison to real attraction. The Stoic philosopher Seneca often talked about the importance of routine and practice. He knew that excellence isn't an act, but a habit. Real strength isn't built in some grand heroic moment, but in the small, unseen choices we make every single day. The choice to get up on time, the choice to do the work you said you'd do, the choice to keep your space clean and organized. Every one of these small victories is a vote you cast for the man you want to become. Practicing this habit is, by its nature, quiet. It's the silent alarm you don't snooze. It's the workout you do when no one's watching. It's the book you read instead of scrolling your life away. It's the quiet order of your home, which is a reflection of the quiet order in your mind. This discipline even extends to your appearance, not out of vanity, but out of self-respect. Being well-groomed and dressing with intention is a silent signal that you value yourself, and therefore you are worthy of respect from others. Think of it this way. Imagine two men. The first guy is full of grand statements. He talks a big game about his ambitions and his plans, but his life is chaotic. His apartment is a mess, his schedule is all over the place, and he rarely follows through on anything. His words are loud, but his actions are silent, and their silence speaks of weakness. Now, imagine the second man. He's quieter. He doesn't boast about his plans, but his life has a rhythm. He gets up early. He honors his commitments. His actions are consistent and reliable. There's a quiet power about him. He's building something, brick by brick, in the silence of his own discipline. This consistency creates a kind of gravitational pull. People are drawn to his reliability. They trust what he says, because his actions have already proven it's true. His discipline has forged a core of self-respect that radiates outward as undeniable confidence. He doesn't need to talk about his strength. His life is a demonstration of it. That is the gravity of discipline. It's a quiet force that tells the world, you are a man of substance, a man who can be counted on, starting with the person who matters most, yourself. Habit 4. The magnetism of authenticity. The fourth habit is the silent, unwavering commitment to what the Stoics called the highest good, living a virtuous life. In today's terms, we can call this the magnetism of authenticity. So many of us walk through the world like chameleons. We subtly change our opinions, our interests, and even our personalities to fit in with whoever we're with, all in the desperate hope of being liked. This is the nice guy syndrome in action, that pathological need for everyone else's approval. The problem is, this constant shifting is exhausting, and it's deeply unattractive. People might not be able to put their finger on it, but they can feel when someone lacks a solid core. They sense they're talking to a reflection, not a real person. And a man who stands for nothing isn't intriguing, he's invisible. The Stoics taught that the path to a good life was to live in line with your true nature, your rational, virtuous nature. This means figuring out your own principles and values, and then having the courage to live by them, no matter what's popular or what others might think. This is integrity, the state of being whole and undivided. When your actions line up with your beliefs, you radiate a powerful consistency that people find intensely magnetic. Practicing this habit takes some deep self-reflection, followed by quiet courage. First, you have to actually know what you stand for. What are your non-negotiables? Honesty, compassion, responsibility, courage. Take the time to define them for yourself, not just borrow them from someone else. Once you know them, the silent practice begins. You live them in the small moments. It's choosing not to laugh at a joke you find cruel. It's stating your opinion respectfully, even when you're in the minority. It's admitting when you're wrong, not to make someone happy, but because truth is one of your values. It's about being the same person no matter who you're with. The person you are with your friends is the same person you are with your family, and the same person you are when you're all alone. This doesn't mean you're rigid or rude. The Stoics were big believers in social duty, but it means your fundamental character doesn't bend in the wind. Imagine a man on a date. The woman he's with shares a strong opinion about a movie that he happens to love. The inauthentic man immediately agrees with her or backpedals on his own taste. "Oh yeah, I can totally see that. It definitely had some problems," he might say. He just sacrificed a piece of himself for a crumb of approval. The authentic man, guided by his principles, would respond differently. With a calm smile he'd say, "That's interesting you saw it that way. I actually had a totally different take. For me, the message about really hit home." He isn't being argumentative. He's not attacking her view. He is simply holding his ground, calmly and respectfully. He's showing her that he has his own mind, his own perspective. This isn't off-putting, it's captivating. It creates intrigue. It shows he's a man of substance and depth, not a hollow echo. This kind of authenticity is magnetic because it signals a profound level of self-worth. It says, "I accept myself, and I don't need you to validate my existence." This is the polar opposite of neediness, and it creates a powerful allure. People are drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin, who have a clear sense of who they are. They are drawn to the man who is an anchor of integrity in a sea of conformity. He doesn't have to announce his values. His consistent, authentic actions do it for him. Habit 5. The unseen engine of growth. The fifth and final habit is the silent, internal force that powers all the others. It is the unseen engine of growth, the unwavering commitment to becoming a better man tomorrow than you are today. One of the most repellent traits in a person is arrogance or stagnation. The man who thinks he has it all figured out, who believes he has reached his final form, is a closed loop. There's no room for connection, no space for learning, no chance for shared growth. He's a finished story, and finished stories just aren't that interesting. The most attractive people aren't the ones who are perfect. They're the ones who are perpetually in the process of becoming. Stoicism is, at its heart, a philosophy of progress, not perfection. The Stoics had a word for this, prokopton, which means the one who is making progress. They knew that we would all have setbacks, and that our failures are not proof of our worthlessness, but opportunities to learn. Seneca famously said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." This is the growth mindset in a nutshell. The belief that your character and abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. You practice this habit in the quiet moments after a failure. When you make a mistake or fall short of your own standards, the reactive mind jumps to shame or blame. The Stoic mind, however, responds with reflection. The practice is to ask yourself, without judgment, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about constructively analyzing your actions to fuel your future improvement. Think about the Stoic practice of journaling. It's a silent conversation with yourself about your day. What did I do well? Where did I fall short of my principles? What could I have done differently? This isn't for an audience. It's a tough, honest self-assessment designed to power your progress. It's the engine of self-improvement running silently in the background of your life. This commitment to growth makes you irresistibly attractive for two deep reasons. First, it gives you a profound sense of humility. You're confident, yes, but you're not arrogant. You know you're a work in progress, and this makes you approachable, relatable, and inspiring to be around. People feel like they can be imperfect around you because you aren't pretending to be perfect yourself. Second, it signals incredible potential. A man who is committed to growth is a man on a journey. He's dynamic, not static. He's interesting because he's evolving. People are drawn to that forward momentum. They want to be around someone who is going somewhere, who is striving to become more. It creates a sense of adventure and possibility. So when you face a challenge at work, you don't complain, you look for the lesson. When a relationship ends, you don't just blame the other person, you reflect on your own part and how you can grow from the experience. You are not defined by your setbacks, you are refined by them. This silent, humble, relentless pursuit of self-improvement is the ultimate attractive quality. It tells the world that your best self is always yet to come, and it makes people want to be there to see it. Conclusion. So there you have it. 5 silent habits forged in ancient wisdom that can fundamentally change your attractive force. We started by calling out the emptiness of most modern dating advice, that exhausting performance of chasing someone's approval. Then, we turned to the Stoics to find a deeper path. We talked about the mastery of silent presence, the rare power of giving someone your undivided attention. We built the Armor of Composure, becoming that unshakable rock in the storm, the man whose inner peace isn't for sale. We understood the gravity of discipline, the quiet power that comes from keeping the promises you make to yourself. We uncovered the magnetism of authenticity, the courage to live by your own values and be the same person in every room. And finally, we ignited the unseen engine of growth, the humble, relentless drive to always be improving. Do you see the common thread? None of these habits are about getting something from other people. They aren't tactics. They aren't for an audience. They are gifts you give to yourself. They're about building an inner fortress so strong, so centered, and so valuable that it naturally and effortlessly draws others in. The goal was never to learn how to play the game better. The goal was to become the man who is above the game. True attractiveness isn't a performance you put on. It's the natural glow of a well-lived life. It's the quiet confidence that comes from self-mastery. It is the peace that comes from a man who is at home within himself. Stop chasing butterflies. Instead, build a garden. Cultivate your inner world with these practices, and watch as the butterflies come to you. If this deeper look at philosophy and self-mastery resonated with you, subscribe to the channel for more conversations on building a life of purpose and strength. This is what we're all about here. Like this video to let us know this is the kind of content you want more of. It helps us reach more men who are tired of the superficial and are ready for something real. And finally, the work begins now. Let us know in the comments. Which one habit are you going to start practicing today? Will it be presence, composure, discipline, authenticity, or growth? Share your intention. Let's build a community of men committed not just to seeming attractive, but to becoming truly admirable.